And they'll ask everybody, are there any amenities you would like, or any requests you have, and then they try to match people up with the housing that's going to make them happiest.
Mm-hmm. So how many days is your work week?
6. And the theater day off is Monday.
So Monday is your day off?
Yeah.
So what have you been doing on your Mondays?
I've gone to Madison a couple times. And
had you ever been to Madison before?
Mm-mm.
What do you think about Madison? It's
fun. I like it, yeah. And it's just nice to get away and go to kind of a city and, eat at a chain restaurant or something. Just something to do. Nothing, I don't go there to do anything special. Just go to drive somewhere and walk down State Street and nothing in particular.
So is there a city that you actually call home most of the time, or?
Well, I'm from Moorhead, Minnesota,
Oh.
and that's my home, I think. That's where my parents live. And I've lived in Minneapolis for 5 years. I went to school there and stayed a little bit after I finished school. But after this, I don't know if I'll go back there or if I'll move somewhere else. I think the hope that a lot of people have when they worked here that they'll be asked back, but it's totally at the whim, not whim, whim's the wrong word, but it depends on what the place needs or what shows they're doing and what those directors need. So I think people hope that they'll come back, but there's no way of knowing.
Do you have plans for the fall?
None yet. Well, I had been in musicals forever. I had been like 20-some musicals in high school and stuff, and because I was a dancer. And I had gotten into a school for dance and was planning to go to school to be a dancer. And I had taken, like all of my friends who were in all these musicals, we all took dance classes and we took singing lessons and all this stuff to try to be really good at all these things we were asked to do. And some of my friends had started taking acting lessons. So I took a few because it just kind of, everybody was doing it. And and so I had like learned a monologue, or something. And a couple of my friends were auditioning for the Guthrie BFA program. And my acting teacher had said, please audition. Just go and try it and see what you think. And I thought, okay, well, we're all road tripping to Minneapolis, and that would be a fun thing to do. So I went and I auditioned, and I did like a monologue and a half or something, and they asked me to do something else, and I was like, I don't really know anything else. And then they asked me, well, do something, from a play you've been in. And I said, well, I haven't really been in a play, like I've only danced. So,
so in all those musicals in high school, you were just dancing?
Yeah. Or like, I think I had lines in a play like twice. I could get more scholarships to the U of M than I could get in Utah. So it was a lot more financially feasible for my family for me to be an actor, which is totally weird. And I thought, well, I don't know anything about it, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot and grow a lot as a person, and it's fascinating. And so I did that instead. I think these are easily some of the most talented people I've ever worked with. And I've worked some nice places. I don't want to be insulting the places I have been, but just the quality of work that people want to do here. And also the way that people want to work. People want to work really hard and they want to work really well, but they want to be really good to each other so we can all work really well together. And I think that's really special.
Have you had a chance to see the other shows that are up and running already?
Yeah. And they're all so different.
Right.
And one of my favorite things is seeing people who in our show do something so specific, do something completely different. Tracy Arnold, who plays the aging countess in Allswell, plays this young, like, vampy kind of prostitute character in another part of the forest, and it's just 100% different human being. It's really something. So that's really cool, too. It's sort of like, not only do people do really amazing work on something, they then do completely different amazing work on something else, which is really like, that would be the dream, Wake up before the day is supposed to start and try to read or something to wake my brain up.
So you said like an hour and a half before
I have to do anything.
Before you have to do anything.
And I would like to,
what time of day is that usually?
Like 10:30. I'd love to say I'm a morning person, and I'm just not. Maybe we'll never be. But try to work out, like we're all trying to work out, and, yeah, try to run or do some yoga or something. and then usually go to rehearsal for a couple hours. And before the show, get here early, run my track of everything I do physically in the show, and then run through say everything I have to say on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you run all your lines
Yeah.
on stage?
Not on stage
Oh.
necessarily.
Oh.
I don't think there'd be time, because other people want to do their stuff too. But in the dressing room while I'm getting ready, I'll say all the things I have to say. Because I just think, and maybe I'll think differently when I'm like more experienced, but I just think like when you get on stage, if it's the first time you're saying that day, like that's kind of horrifying to not have said it before.
So you'll find some place to sit or stand, and you'll say all your lines.
Yeah, I usually do it in the dressing room while I'm putting my hair up or something.
And are you acting, or you just
No,
like
just like
lines?
it's just like muscle memory. I'm trying to warm my mouth up.
Huh. Is that hard to do without the context of the scene and the other actors?
Not usually, although sometimes I'll find there'll be hitches, or when I get on stage, I'll say a line and I'll think, I didn't say that earlier, or wow, I don't remember this one, or something will strike you differently, which is a good thing, I think.
Is your ability to memorize lines something that surprised you, having like sort of just fallen into acting? Was it a surprise that you had that gift?
No, because I used to play the piano a lot and play like a lot of classical music and memorize. My teacher was, like you weren't done with a piece until it was memorized. So I used to be a dancer, so like I memorized a lot of choreography. So I'm so used to the idea of remembering things to do that it didn't seem strange to remember words to say.
Huh.
And I did competitive speech and debate in high school, which is a lot of memorizing things too. But
Wow.
so I don't know, I think our brains are really big. And if you can find like a stress-free way to access your memory reserves, you can hold a lot of stuff in there.
So in your head, are you sort of seeing the whole show and sort of fast forward? Like,
Kind of. Or trying to... Sometimes I think when you don't do a show for several days or a week, you can get kind of soft. So like, for example, when I run down here and Bertram's gonna walk up over the bridge, seeing him should always feel like, oh, the man of my dreams. And if I've forgotten what seeing him should feel like, I could just stand here and look at him like, there's Matt Schwader, which is not really as interesting, I think, as seeing someone. So I remember not just to go where I'm supposed to go because I'm supposed to, but if I've walked up here and Bertram says, I'm leaving forever today. And they're sort of like, shoot, yeah, you're leaving forever. Oh, that sucks, and then he's talking, so I'm gonna listen to him. Then she says my name, and it's sort of like, oh, right, you're talking to me. It's sort of like trying to remember it's like a dance. Or at least it's easier for me to think of it like that.
but do other actors who don't have a dance background also do something like this?
I don't know, I think that's what's fascinating about this craft too, is that everybody has their own totally bizarre individual way of making it happen. And things will be really different for each show. Like, I don't know if I'll ever have to prepare for a show the way I prepare for this one. People will hum, or some people need to have a cup of tea to feel ready to do the play. And sometimes it's things people don't even realize they're doing. Like, oh, I always listen to this song on my drive here, or I always put my makeup on in this order. But, yeah. But this helps me feel ready. And I do so much running up and down this Hanamichi that I usually have to do it a couple times to remind myself, like, how to take all the steps. And
What did you call this?
this is a Hanamichi.
And it's different from an aisle in what way?
Yeah, well, this theater is kind of a nod to several different kinds of theater designs from all over the world and from many different centuries. So it's like an amphitheater, which is like a Greek theater. And this is a hanamichi, which in Japanese theaters is like a portion of the stage that extends into the audience.
Oh.
So more so than in any, like the other ones are aisles, this one's a lot wider. So you'll see people play scenes right up here, you know, or be acting all the way down in. Instead of just using it to get in, people will act all the way up and down this.
Right. But they do that with that one too, right? Which is just an aisle?